you're a black woman in a mixed marriage. So obviously we have different
I'm interested.
beliefs on this.
If we don't, yeah, I listen, I'm never going to obviously adopt your beliefs on it.
Right.
I just think it's patently wrong.
But you understand why I would want to have grandchildren that are white?
I don't have an issue with you saying you want your kids to look
But do you
like
understand why I would believe that or feel that way?
No, because I'm not white. I don't understand.
What about your grandchildren being black for that matter then?
Well, I'm mixed race, so that, I mean, I just feel like each kid comes out looking different. It's kind of incredible.
All right, so my name is Fitz. Welcome to the channel. We're going to dive a little deeper into this conversation. I'm going to let it play out a little longer. Just from what I'm hearing right now, I can see where this conversation is going a little bit. He's asking very direct questions. And Candace, I love Candace, but it seemed like she beating around the bush. It seemed like she beating around the bush on this one. And really what it comes down to, in my opinion, when it comes to mixed race marriages or, black people marrying white people marrying white people, I have no issue with someone saying, I'm black, I only want to marry black people, or I'm white, I only want to marry white people, I'm Chinese, I only want to marry Chinese people. Now, I do think the reason why matters, and I'm going to get into in a little bit, but I'm going to let it play a little longer. For those of you new to the channel, make sure you check out the Content Confidence Workbook, now available for content creators who want to build an online brand without burning out. Information is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's keep rolling.
So I think that when you actually have children, you realize like it's incredible how like my daughter is a little bit darker, but she looks like my husband. And then like my son's whiter, but he looks just like me. And I think that's kind of one of the exciting parts of being in a mixed race relationship. I'm always like, oh, I wonder what this kid's going to come out looking like. If you're saying that generations down, like 3 generations down, it'd be possible that you could just have all black kids or something.
No, what I think he's saying is that he wants his children and his grandchildren to be in alignment with his culture, be in alignment with, his beliefs, be in alignment with his values, and look like him. And honestly, this is one of the things where I think black people get it wrong at, is because on one hand, we sit here and we preach about black unity. We sit here and we preach about, black people need to come on the rise. But then when we have actual conversations about how to do that and sticking with our own and making sure that we're doing things to build the community, oh, I love everybody. I just want to love everybody. You should be able to marry who you want to marry and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not saying don't marry who you want to marry. What I'm saying is that if we're focused on building community and it's values driven, then we should want to stick with our own, and black men should be marrying black women. So I have no issue with him saying that he wants white grandchildren. I think that black people should want black grandchildren and black children and a black wife or black husband, not from a we're better than anybody perspective, but from a community-based perspective, building our community up, making sure that we're doing things to instill valuable lessons from a racial pride perspective so that we can build on our own and stop asking other groups of people for stuff. But let's see what he's talking about.
Would that bother you? You'll probably be dead.
Yeah,
that happens, you'll probably be dead.
I'm alive now, and
what I'm saying is that like by the time you could breed it out, so to speak, you'd be dead. So I'm just answering your question. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. Yeah. No, obviously.
To me, that's a weak point because a lot of conservatives will talk about, well, we need to do things for the next generation. We need to make sure that we're leaving our children and our great-great-grandchildren a better life. So for her to say, well, you're not going to be alive, so it doesn't matter what race your children are, that doesn't really matter if he's coming from a values perspective. That would be like saying, do you want to do things now in the present? For example, let's say with the education system where their conservatives are openly against them teaching LGBTQ. Do you want your great-grandchildren to be learning how to be gay at 5 years old? They would probably say no, even if they weren't alive to see it. This is why I say it seems like she's dodging the question or doesn't want to give a straightforward answer.
Obviously not.
I'm saying, but do you understand why I would feel that way?
If I understood it, I wouldn't be in a mixed race relationship. I don't understand it.
But you have no empathy
it.
Then for like,
no,
you can't step outside of your situation.
I mean, no, I'm not, I don't need to have, how would I have empathy for it? I mean, I don't feel that way.
Okay.
So it's just.
You don't have to feel a certain way to have empathy for something. Empathy is being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes. So, for example, Candace Owens is a conservative, right? She votes red or whatever. I think she's a conservative. So if she said I only want to marry conservatives and she marries a conservative, but then someone brought a situation to her where they were like, hey, I'm a conservative, but I have this Democrat girl I want to marry. Can you speak to that? Just because she's not married to a Democrat doesn't mean she wouldn't be able to put herself in someone else's shoes and think about, well, what would it be like if I were married to a Democrat? What would the issues be? Where would the tension be? What struggles and conflicts would we have? So I don't think you have to necessarily live something or be going through it in order to empathize and put yourself in someone else's shoes, especially when it comes to something like, wanting your children to look a certain way or whatever. She can definitely empathize with, not wanting her child to be LGBTQ or gay, things like that. She may not have a child that is gay, but she can empathize with somebody who would say, hey, my child is this, I don't want them to be that. So I don't think that's a strong point she's making, but let's see.
Something that we disagree on.
Well, I'm saying that because I actually can understand the appeal of a mixed race relationship. I get it. I mean, I find other races attractive also. And, if I was in love with a person from another race, I would probably want to build a life with them also. But my values are not just who I'm in love with and things like that. It's also my heritage, my identity, my race. And, I like the idea. It is important to me. My parents look a certain way. Their parents look a certain way. We come from a certain place. I like the unbroken chain. And I want my grandchildren and great-grandchildren to have a similar complexion. I want them to have.
And I see no problem with this, honestly. And if more people phrased it like that, I would have no problem with it. And I honestly think that black people need to take this perspective, not one of hate, like we don't want to have children with people from other groups because we hate them, but we want our children, we value our children looking similar to us. We value a certain heritage. We want even if we're attracted to other groups of people, that attraction should not be at the top of the totem pole. Our values should be at the top of the totem pole. Why? So that when we're sitting here complaining about banks aren't giving us loans or the schools are this and that, and we are begging white politicians and black politicians and whoever, Donald Trump, to fix our problems. If we had a community of black people that were interested in pushing that community forward, we wouldn't have to go begging other groups of people. And I think the only way you get that way is to start valuing something. And when you have values that say, I can be attracted to a white woman or whatever, or a white man, or whatever the case is, but I'm still going to marry a black person because my values dictate what I do, then we can start growing as a community. So I think if more black people took this approach with black people and marrying other black people, that we would actually be better off.
Have similar hair. Because these kinds of things, they echo. We're all connected, not just in time horizontally, but vertically across the generations. And so the idea that, 2 or 3 generations down the line, one of my children bears no resemblance to me at all, it's almost as if we're not related. It's almost as if I never existed. And there's something very disturbing to me about that. And I can understand why people are okay with that. Because people have various feelings about race. They say, I don't care about my race or whatever, but I do.
See, I have no issue with that. And I'm going to get this off the screen. I'm going to be real. I have no issue whatsoever with that perspective. What I think happens with this conversation, though, is people will take it and be like, well, if all white people thought like this or all black people thought like this, then, we would be in segregation again and Jim Crow and blah, blah, blah. But here's the reality. We already kind of live like that, just unintentionally. Most black people live by black people. Most white people live by white people. We're doing it unintentionally, though, because of the way things set up. I think if we took an intentional approach as the black community and develop that mindset to where we love each other, we want to be with each other for community building purposes, then at a certain point in time, it wouldn't matter if you stepped outside the community. It wouldn't matter as much because we've already built something. We've already built something. But if you and your family are homeless and you have all the material you need to build a house, and you start nailing and you putting up wood, and then you see somebody else building a house and you go help them before your house is built, while your family is out here in the rain, in the snow, sun beaming down, no AC, the house ain't built, but you over there helping them build their house, how do you think that would look? How would that make your family look and feel? That's what we're doing when we don't commit to each other. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Make sure you tap into the Content Confidence Workbook. There's also a Content Confidence Challenge, 3-day challenge, totally free. Information is in the description as well. If you are a content creator who's feeling burnt out, you want to start creating content more consistently, you want to gain the confidence to create content, make sure you tap in. Appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. My name is Fitz.